Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and we're back again with another Best of the Rest video. This episode we're going to be looking at the rest of the red cards in Born of the Gods. Engage! The first card we're looking at is Archetype of Aggression, 1 colorless and 2 red for a 3/2 human warrior. Creatures you control have trample, and creatures your opponents control lose trample and can't have or gain trample. As far as the archetype cycle is concerned, red may have gotten the short straw here. White has First Strike, blue has Flying, black has Death Touch, and green has Hexproof. All 4 of those keywords are game-breaking. Trample isn't a terrible ability to give your creatures, but it certainly isn't the most impactful, especially in red where speed is often coveted more than raw power. Unless you're a dragon. Then all bets are off. Bolt of Keranos is 3 mana for a sorcery that deals 3 damage to target creature or player, then you scry 1. Lightning Bolt got really expensive and slower is basically what this card is. It's a removal spell, so it'll see play in limited, and the scry shouldn't be ignored, but it is 3 mana and a sorcery. Rough, especially in the same format as Magma Jet. Cyclops of One-Eyed Pass is 4 mana for a 5/2 that dies to Eye Gouge. Next! Next up is another Man-Cow Bearable. Kragma Butcher is 3 mana for an Inspire 2/3. Whenever it becomes untapped, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. This is pretty decent. Since you're a Minotaur, you're always attacking, forever. So basically this is a 4/3 for 3 after you attack with them once. Go Team Man-Cow! This next card is Hysterical. Lightning Volley is 4 mana for an instant. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain the ability to be annoying. By that, of course, I mean they can tap to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. This doesn't even just affect 1 creature, it's all of them. That's awesome. Imagine running this in some red-white aggro deck with a bunch of cats and soldiers just hanging out. You have your opponent at, let's say, 8 life. They play a few bigger creatures and all of a sudden your cats are kittens and your soldiers are peeing themselves. Just play Lightning Volley and boom! You have an entire army of prodigal sorcerers ready to make your opponent want to jump off a building. This card is cool. Reckless Reveler is 2 mana for a 2/1 satyr that parties way too hard. You can pay 1 red and sacrifice him to destroy target artifact. All of the 6 artifacts in Born of the Gods should be shaking in their booties. Rise to the Challenge is 2 mana for an instant that gives target creature +2/+0 and First Strike until end of turn. Decent combat trick. The combination of an increase in power plus First Strike is always devastating. This is a solid pick in the middle to end of your pack if you're already confidently in red. Next up is Scouring Sands. This 2 mana sorcery deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control, then you scry 1. This is a nice one-sided tremor with some card advantage. It is a sorcery, but not a horrible card overall. This will be one of those sideboard cards in draft that comes in against the deck I was just talking about that runs the Lightning Volley. Remember that. Stormcaller of Keranos is 3 mana for a 2/2 human shaman with haste and a blue activated ability. You can pay 1 colorless and 1 blue to scry 1. I like this card a lot. 1, it gets me super pumped for Keranos and Journey into Nyx. 2, scry 1 as an easily activated ability is pretty relevant and limited. Plus she has haste so you can attack immediately. This is just a solid draft card. Next up is another victim of Eye Gouge. Thunder Brute is 4 colorless and 2 red for a 5/5 Cyclops with Trample and Tribute 3. When he enters the battlefield, if Tribute wasn't paid, he gains haste until end of turn. So we either have an 8/8 with Trample or a 5/5 with Trample and haste. I mean, either way, it's going to get its eye gouged, but if it does survive, that's a rough choice. You'll probably just let it gain haste for a turn since an 8/8 seems crazy to fight against. But even then, I don't like letting a red deck deal 5 damage to my face. The last red card we're going to look at is a doozy. Thunderous Might is 2 mana for an enchant creature aura. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is your devotion or red. This is good, like limited bomb, standard playable good. At worst, it's not quite as nice as Madcap's skills, but at its strongest, we're talking about a Fanatic of Mogus trigger every turn on something. There's already a devotion deck for this to go into. Granted, you're going to have to find something in mono red to remove, but if there's room, this could deserve a spot. That rounds out the rest of the red cards from Born of the Gods. Red looks like a pretty fun color to draft with. Would you guys consider yourselves destined to conquer? Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay tuned as we'll be releasing the rest of the set review very shortly. As always, subscribe below for the latest and most reliable Born of the Gods spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus, I'm Wedge, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.